So today is the Veterinary Day of Remembrance, and I kind of think it's garbage. And when I feel this passionately about something, I normally write poetry. So I have written a slam poem about this Day of Remembrance, as well as Vet Med in general, and I will warn you that my poem includes topics such as suicide and depression, anxiety, and rape. So if you are not comfortable or are triggered by any of those topics, I would not recommend listening to this video. So I do not have a title for this, but this is my Day of Remembrance poem. Today in Vet Med is our Day of Remembrance, and yet for some reason we still suffer greatly for our penance to a field that isn't listening for our cries for help, to a culture that sees balance as a thing that's to be shelved, to students going home and dying during break, to an at-risk population who's more scared of reviews than their fates, to clients who want their animals helped when they are ill, but accuse us of money grubbing when we try to explain the bill, to schools that know statistically most can't pay out of pocket, to programs that pride themselves in being the best on the docket, because they want you to stay balanced but steady. But make sure you join all the clubs and make sure you have a buddy. And make sure you get some rest and eat healthy and work out if that's crap. Because when it comes to your schedule, there's very little time for that. So here's to a day of remembrance, and it pains for me to say, I wish we actually cared about each other and not headlines of the day. For the jokes my own professors make about still drowning in their debt. And as a first year, I can't get their laughs out of my head. I'm a goddamn rape survivor, and no one makes those jokes, but these jokes about mental health and drowning make me choke. But can we pay it back in time before death consumes us all? Or is that the price you pay when you try to save them all? To LMCs implemented being a bragging right to see. To schools saying, don't worry, you'll get a DVM with C's. To me choosing which class to ditch so I can get the help I need. In case you wanted to know, today I ditched Shelter Med for PT. And next week I'll have to ditch another class to go to therapy. And the next week after that, I'll miss another one to get more of my meds. But the weekends I'll catch up with all the lectures that I missed. And I'll hear the praises of the people saying, I don't know how you do it. And I'll laugh and tell them I chose this because I love what I do, and that's bullshit. And inside I'll feel like a piece of me is crumbling because I'm stuck between Vet Med and my health. But if you ask everyone else, we obviously do it for the wealth because the culture is in the schools and the clinics and the people that we see. Because remember, if we really cared, we would do this all for free. Because if we really cared, we would diagnose just over the phone or respond to the countless questions about animals we don't know. Because if we really cared, we wouldn't take time away. Because if we took time for ourselves, well, that would be the day. Because if we really cared, we would answer calls on vacations. Because if we really cared, we wouldn't need to ask for form of payment. Because when you go through a system that just shovels out DVMs, you do so at the cost of their sanity and their friends, of your relationships and your grades and your balance and your grace and your sleep cycles and your whatever else you can add to that list. But you chose this field, they say. Shouldn't you have known? No, I'm sorry. I didn't realize it was normal to take home Fatal Plus and kill yourself at home. I didn't realize it was normal for Amanda Ryans to slip into history, or Kelly Smith, or Whitney Angler, or another name you don't remember, see? Shouldn't I have known that I was getting into it? Should I have known that students and techs and doctors were calling it quits? Yes, I chose this field, but I didn't choose a sentence, and I refuse to concede that these tragedies are normal in any sense. I choose my actions every day, but I didn't choose this field to have us wanting to die because the culture will not yield. What will you choose instead? Because the price of my education came with almost losing my head. Sometimes the cost comes at a price that you shouldn't have to meet, like the couple I know who's over half a million deep, or the students, yes, plural, that I know almost killed themselves last week, or the scars on my wrists and ankles that should indicate I'm weak, or the vet who won't retire because what about his family, or Dr. DVM, who just died this week, or you. What about you? What are you doing to change this culture? Do you treat your vet professionals with respect or are you vultures? Picking out all the little things they can't do right and writing angry reviews because they couldn't help your plight, harassing them on social media because you're a keyboard cowboy. But you want them to treat your little teacup designer breed little purse toys because you wanted them to practice magic and they didn't earn their degree at Hogwarts. And trust me, sometimes, just like Snape, they're their own buggers. Are you a student in a school and feel defeated too? You don't need a movement to voice a different view. Speak out and be loud, be uncomfortable and stand up. Because I'm tired of fighting too, but we have to say enough. Because you deserve a say for the price tag that you pay. And you shouldn't be a headline. And you should be here to stay. And so today, on this day of remembrance, let it be heard that I am done with this toxic culture of prayers and thoughts and words. And I want to see some action for the lives we've lost in strife. Because helping animals shouldn't ever come at the cost of your life.